Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Barcelona versus Real Madrid, the biggest game in the whole world. We're back on Sunday. And this might be the only game which my prediction have changed every single day. My prediction, whenever I wake up, it changes. One day, I'll wake up saying Madrid's going to win. Another day, I'll wake up, Barca's going to win. Another day, I'll wake up, it's going to be a draw. Another day, I'll wake up and say the game is going to get cancelled. Another day, I'll wake up, it's going to be played in America. I don't know what's going to happen this game. If you ask me right now, I've got a prediction. Tomorrow, I've got a different prediction. And on Wednesday, I've got a different prediction. And on the game itself, I've got a different prediction. I don't know what's going to happen. I've got no idea what's going to happen. But I'll try my best to give you a prediction, which is why today we're going to do a full preview of the game itself between Real Madrid and Barcelona. We are going to be predicting the starting 11 for both teams. The Barcelona starting 11 and the Real Madrid starting 11. And also tomorrow, I have got a stream on this channel with a Barcelona fan. Our final thoughts before the game. Who is most under pressure? We're going to be talking about takeaways from both teams heading into the Clasico. Make sure you're there tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time. It will be a stream, so we're going to go live at 5 p.m. Anyway, let's talk about the game itself before we start. Before we go any further, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are very, very, very close to 100K. We are only 1,700 subscribers away. It will be very good if we get that before or on the game of El Clasico. And of course, make sure you comment your own thoughts, your own predictions, takeaways, matchups, X, Y, and Z. Both teams are heading into this game on a interesting form, up in the air. The last 5 games for both teams. Real Madrid lost 5-2 against Atleti. They beat Kairat, they beat Villarreal, they beat Getafe, they beat Juve. As for Barcelona, they beat Sociedad, but then had that very disappointing week of losing against Paris Saint-Germain, losing against Seville, and then, of course, after international duty, they beat Girona with a last-second winner, and, of course, beat Olympiacos 6-1. Both teams and both fan bases are not confident heading into the game because they've got their own issues. Let's start with Barcelona's issues, their away team. Barcelona, they've got their own issues of course, the injury problems. Barcelona have got all of those players who are doubtful or who potentially might not play. And those are Liwa, Gavi, Dani Olmo. I'm so devastated on that one. So devastated on that one. Matt ter Stegen, Juan Garcia, and Frankie de Jong, who is doubtful, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. The key absences of those players are... Wait, where the hell is Rafinha? I doubt Rafinha's going to play. I doubt. Anyway, we'll talk about it. The key absences is, of course, Mr. Juan Garcia and Mr. Lewandowski, which this season has been somewhat of goals. Real Madrid, they have got their own injury issues where no Antonio Rudiger, no Dani Carvajal, David Alaba, Dean Huijsen will play, Trent will not play, and Dani Ceballos will not play. So we've got our own issues. They've got their own issues. In terms of both teams, away from the injury issues, they've got actual personnel issues. Both set of fans, they're not happy with the team or the manager. Barcelona fans are not happy that Hansi Flick, despite the fact that has got a lot of rotation, despite the fact that a lot of players are not there, X, Y, and Z, they're not happy with the fact that the high line is maintaining. They want Hansi Flick to change the high line, to maybe adapt to the team, to maybe play a little bit deeper. That's not Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick is going to play the same way every single game. As for Real Madrid, they're not happy with the fact that yet to today, our performances hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been great. The game against Juve, it wasn't good in my opinion. The game against Getafe, it was down to 9 players. Before that point, we weren't that great. Villarreal was okay. Kairat, it's Kairat. What do you expect? But for Real Madrid, all the big games that we've had so far under Xabi Alonso, we've lost. Paris Saint-Germain, we lost 4-0. Atleti, we lost 5-2. This is now another big game. Another big game. So how is Xabi Alonso going to shape up? How is he going to tactically set up against another big team? Because every single time we face a big team, we've lost. So the track record is not great. And as for Barcelona, of course, The takeaways coming into the game that Barcelona last season beat us 4 times. We haven't beaten Barcelona. Another takeaway, this is the Xabi Alonso, his first time managing Real Madrid against Barcelona. Another takeaway is the fact that Hansi Flick is unbeaten against Real Madrid. And another takeaway is the lineups and the matchups. As for Barcelona, this is what I expect that is going to happen. I expect Szczesny to play. I don't think that's a surprise. I don't think that is a shock. I think with no Juan Garcia, I do expect Szczesny to play. Right back is interesting because Koundé hasn't been very good recently over the past games, I would say. He hasn't been the greatest, but I still expect Koundé to play this game. So I expect Koundé to take it. The two centre-backs, let's go bolder straight away before we can talk about the centre-backs. This is how I expect Barcelona to shape up in terms of defensively. The two centre-backs is interesting because Hansi Flick can play Araujo, who, of course, you need his pace against Mbappe and Vini. You need his strength. You need his physical ability, his attributes, of course. But at the same time, you need someone that in the back line understands the high line, is more capable to move up and move down, and is more capable to, of course, when he's got the ball, he can make something with it. One of them is, of course, Mr. Kubasi, who's not having, again, the most grace of season to what he had last season. But, of course, with Inigo Martinez, he has to adapt to it. And the person who I think will partner him, I think will be Eric Garcia. This is what I expect Barcelona to shape up tomorrow. Koundé, Eric Garcia, Kubasi, and Bode, Alejandro Bode. The two midfield is going to be Pedri, and it's going to be Frankie de Jong. This is what I expect. Frankie, they're saying that he is doubtful. He's going to play. He's going to play. Then we've got other positions. That's only one position out there which is up in the air. Lamine Yamal's going to play. We all know about that. Rashford is going to play. We all know about that as well. And Fermin Lopez is going to play. I think we all know about that as well. Those three are non-disputed. Those three are guaranteed starters for Barcelona. Then we've got the last position. It's between two players, in my personal opinion. It's either between Casado, so Barcelona can play a Rashford in there, put Fermin in there, and then have maybe Pedri as a 10 or Frankie as a 10, or play a three-man midfield, so a 4-3-3 against Real Madrid, or they can give it to a Mr. Rafinha, who has just come back from an injury. Rafinha hasn't played a single game of the past 4 weeks. He has been pushing himself to play this game. He's been trying his absolute best to be healthy for this game, but a part of me don't think he's going to start. I don't think he's fully healthy to play this game. Hence the reason why I think Barcelona will be playing Casado. And what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be a three-man midfield of Lamine, Rashford up front, Fermin on the wing, or maybe have Pedri as a 10 or Frankie as a 10. But I expect the 11 players which I expect Barcelona to play is those exact 11 players of Koundé, Eric Garcia, Kubasi, Bode, Casado, Pedri, Frankie, Lamine, Rashford, and Fermin Lopez. As for Real Madrid, our team is filled with complication on its own. Question marks about certain players. Not with injuries, more with what Xabi Alonso is going to do with certain players. Thibaut Courtois is a non-standard. Carreras at left back is easy as well. And Militao is easy as well. Those are the guaranteed two players so far defensively. The question is, of course, the right back position, whether Dani Carvajal is healthy or whether Trent Alexander-Arnold is healthy. I don't think Dani Carvajal will play. Neither do I think Trent will play. I think Trent will play the game against Liverpool, so I think he'll be saved for Liverpool because, of course, that game, Trent will not be playing. So I expect the right back to be Fede Valverde, who's been playing right back over the past couple games, and he's been doing it at a very, very good level. And then the last position, Dean Huijsen didn't play the last 2 games. Raul Asenio played the last game, did very well, got taken off because he got injured. Alaba played against Getafe, played one half, got taken off. But the person that I expect to play this game is Mr. Dean Huijsen, who I expect him to be back for this game. He didn't play against Getafe. He didn't play against Juve. I think he got saved, and I think this is how Real Madrid is going to shape up defensively against Barcelona. Then we've got the two-man pivot line, and I expect it to be Mr. Camavinga, and I expect it to be Mr. Tchouaméni. This is how I expect Real Madrid to play defensively. Both Camavinga and Tchouaméni, both of them started with each other against Getafe. Both of them played at one point when Camavinga came on against Juve. Camavinga has been so good since he came back from an injury. Tchouaméni has had a very good start to the season, and Xabi Alonso has given praises and flowers to both players, both Camavinga and both Tchouaméni. So I expect both of them to play. The last person who's going to be playing is, of course, Mr. Jude Bellingham. That's the last person. Then we, of course, the person on the left-hand side. I don't think Alonso is going to be dropping Vinny Jr. on an El Clasico, because if he does, a lot of question marks will be raised towards it. I don't think he's able to do it because Vinny Jr. hasn't given you a reason to drop him. Game against Getafe, he was very good when he came off the bench. The game, of course, against Juve, he was the one that scored pretty much the goal. Yes, Jude scored the tap-in, but Vinny created it out of nowhere. And of course, up front is Mr. La Liga top scorer, Champions League top scorer, Mr. Kylian Mbappe. He'll be playing. The last position is between three players. The last position, you know what? Three is a stretch. It's between two players. It's between Franco Mastertuno and it's between Arda Güler. Franco Mastertuno started against Getafe. Didn't have the greatest game against Getafe. Franco did not play against Juve. He was on the bench. Reports have been saying the reason why he was on the bench is because Xabi Alonso wanted to save him for El Clasico. Arda Güler played against Juventus, dropped a man of the match performance, got the man of the match award, but got taken off because of the fact he got tired. And secondly, reports are saying that Xabi Alonso is saving him for Barcelona. So we've got one person who didn't start against Juve because he wanted to be saved against Barca, and one person got taken off against Juve because he wanted to be saved against Barcelona. We all understand, we have all seen Xabi Alonso so far this season. He's got his own regime and his own rotations with Real Madrid. On the left-hand side is Vinny and Rodrigo. Up front is Mbappe, Gonzalo Garcia. On the right-hand side is Franco and Brahim. In the middle, the midfield options that we have. Left back, we all know. X, Y, and Z. So far, Real Madrid so far this season have yet to play a game where there is no Brahim and no Franco as a starter. Because Xabi Alonso has made it very clear this season, I want a natural right winger. Arda Güler is not a natural right winger in Xabi's eyes. Same with my eyes and everyone's eyes. I mean, I said it last season, he's a midfielder, and thankfully enough, he's been playing as a midfielder this season. It begs the question now whether he wants to have a natural right winger in Franco Mastertuno, because one thing that Franco offers is his off-the-ball movement. He presses, he runs, he chases the ball, and when he gets the ball, he's very raw with it, but he wants to get something done, he wants to create something. He's all over the place when he gets the ball, but off the ball, I can't deny the fact that he runs, he chases, he defends, he presses at all costs. And that's what you need against the Barcelona, because I don't expect us to have the ball 100 times the ball. I don't expect to have the ball like 90%, 80%. I do expect Barca to have the ball more than us. So we need someone off the ball to run, chase, and X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, what we do need is someone, when he gets the ball, he can make something happen out of nothing, similar to Arda Güler, who can create chances, who can find passes better than anyone else in this Real Madrid team. And I would be very shocked, and I would be very, very amazed if Arda Güler does not start. Hence the reason why Arda, I've come to conclusions that he should be a personal and a guaranteed starter. This is not how I expect Madrid to shape up. I do expect Madrid to shape up like this. I think it would be more like this, and a four-man midfield where Vinny can rotate, Mbappe can rotate. Arda's it's not going to be on the byline most of the time. He's going to invert mostly, which means Fede Valverde will have a nice little axis on the right-hand side. But when we defend, it's going to be more like this. We're going to defend like this. But when we have the ball, it's going to be more like like this, with Vinny's on the left-hand side, and Mbappe's going to be rotating, and it's going to be more like this. That's how I expect us, when we have the ball, this is how I expect us to do. But this is the question mark, whether Arda will be playing or whether Frankie will be playing. Like I said, I'll be very, very surprised. I'll be very shocked if Arda doesn't start. And if Arda doesn't start, then my goodness, I don't think we're able to create nothing. Because as you guys have seen in the season, most of our creation and most of our chance, the passages and the combination we play in the final third has come down to Arda Güler. When Arda Güler's on the pitch, Real Madrid, they create more chances. It's not a coincidence that Arda Güler leads the whole top 5 leagues with most chances created, not just in the league, but across all competition. He's number 1. He's above any other midfielder, any other winger. He creates more chances than any other player in the top 5 leagues. Hence the reason having him in the starting 11 against Barcelona will be crucial. The matchups is now different matchups. The first matchup is Lamine Yamal against Alvaro Carreras. Alvaro Carreras has had a good season, except for one game. And that one game happened against Atletico Madrid, where we got absolute smoked, and Alvaro Carreras dropped arguably one of the worst performances of the season. That was his toughest matchup, and he didn't deliver, which now begs the question. He's now facing arguably the scariest right winger in the whole world, how he's going to cope with that. So I'm looking forward to see how Alvaro manages and plays against Lamine Yamal. Of course, it's not going to be a world where I expect it to be 1v1. I do expect Real Madrid to make it difficult for Lamine Yamal. Hence the reason when we do have the ball, I expect Jude and Tchouaméni to, of course, double team, triple team when, of course, the moment is right. In the midfield, the midfield battle is going to be interesting between, of course, Pedri, Casado, and Frankie, and, of course, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Jude, and Arda Güler. Of course, Pedri has been very good this season, so has Frankie, but at the same time, Real Madrid, with Arda Güler, with Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Jude, has all had their moments as well this season, when Arda Güler has arguably been one of the best midfielders so far this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how Barcelona is going to defend against such a profile. And then we've got the high line, and in terms of Barcelona defensively, the past couple of games has been very bad. They've been leaking in goals, left, right, center. The high line has not been highlining, and the fullback pairing and the fullback understanding or the back four understanding hasn't been the greatest. Olympiacos, yes, they lost 6-1. Before the man got sent off, they had so many chances. Girona had so many chances. Seville had so many chances. Paris Saint-Germain had so many chances. So Barcelona has been leaking so many goals, and the high line of Barcelona, it's not the same as last season, because last season you had a leader of Inigo Martinez who basically instructed, demanded all the players to move up at the right moment of time. Whereas this season, there's a lot of players who move up, but others they don't move up, which basically exposes the high line and exploits both on the wings. We have Mbappe and Vinny Jr. who can do it better than anyone else, and we have Jude Bellingham who, when it comes to smelling in the final third, does it better than anyone as well. So I do expect Barca to concede goals. That is a given. I expect Barca to concede goals, and I expect us to concede goals because, of course, Barcelona, they can score in different type of ways. And I think over the past, yes, we've kept clean sheets against Juve and against Getafe and against Caira the last 3 games. But, brother, we should have conceded against Caira early on. We should have conceded against Juve. And we had a last-minute chance where we played against 9 players, yet Getafe created a chance against us. And in the big games, we haven't been good. And in the big games, we've conceded 9 goals in 2 games. 4 against Paris Saint-Germain and 5 against Barcelona. Sorry, against Atleti. And last season, you saw how many goals Barca scored against us in the league at home against us. In the Super Cup, we conceded 4. In La Liga in October, we conceded 5 in Saudi Arabia. And the Cup of the Ray, we conceded 3. And in the league, we conceded 3. So we've conceded so many goals against Barcelona. Hence the reason why we are going to concede goals today as well. And Marcus Rashford has been on form. Firmino has been on form. Lamine on the score sheet. So Barca will score against us. And if Rafinha plays, it will add another element, because it's important to understand that when Rafinha's got the ball and when he crosses in the side, Rashford hasn't managed to do it. Firmino hasn't managed to do it. No other Barca opponent player has understood the crossing, understood the runs, because Rafinha's not there. Because whenever Lamine crosses the ball, Rafinha's right there at the back post. And last season, Rafinha scored so many goals against us in similar fashion. So Fede and Eder Militao, they need to be very careful. They need to be very careful. The health of Dean Huijsen will be important. Let's see if he's fully 100% healthy. And of course, we need to test and challenge Szczesny, who hasn't been great. Olympiacos, not great enough. The game against Girona, Seville, Paris Saint-Germain, not great enough. So we need to test and we need to make it difficult for Szczesny, who hasn't been great. So both teams are heading into this game not the best of form. They haven't got the full 11 in place. So it's a very interesting El Clasico. Both teams are not confident as well. Like, I'm not confident. A lot of Barca fans saying, we're going to concede so many goals to Mbappe and Vinny. So both teams are very skeptical. They're very, very nervous before the game. My prediction now might change tomorrow on the stream. And my prediction on the stream tomorrow might change on Saturday. And my prediction on Saturday might change on Sunday when the game starts. But as of right now, if you ask me right this second, I expect Real Madrid to win this game. Because if Real Madrid don't win this game against this Barcelona team, who we've seen for the past 4 games, leaking so many goals, leaking so many chances, and not been good enough, and their best players are out in Juan Garcia and Lewa and Rafinha potentially, there will be a lot of question marks about Xabi Alonso, because there's no way you can start the season and losing in 3 of the biggest games. That would be a question mark so far on you. The fashion you lose is different. If you lose in a last second fashion, yet you don't dominate the game, it's different. I'm not going to judge you. But if you lose the same fashion, we lost against Paris Saint-Germain, we lost against Atleti, and now against Barcelona, then hey. But these are currently my thoughts and my preview for the game. Catch us tomorrow, of course, 5 p.m. Myself and another Barcelona fan. You guys will find out tomorrow who it is at 5 p.m. And, of course, on Sunday, El Clasico. I'm going to be going an hour early. Or maybe an hour, because the game will start at what? 3:15. I might just go live at 2 p.m. I might go live at 2 p.m. so we can talk about it at a full length. But catch us then. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because I would love to get to 100K on the day of a Clasico. Make my dream come true and comment your own thoughts. And I'll see you soon with another video. Peace.